My name is Bill Mannix. I'm the Director of Economic Development for the town of Islip. I want to welcome you to our 15th Small Business Awards. Yes, wow. It's a wow moment for me too, because I can remember when we first discussed way back in 2003, recognizing the achievements of small businesses and the importance that small business plays in the fabric of the community. And we decided on having these awards programs every year. For the official welcome, I want to bring up Supervisor Angie Carpenter from the town of Islip. Angie, many of you probably know, has had a long and distinguished career in public service, but what you may not know is that she first really got involved in her local community by virtue of being a small business owner. That's where I first came to know her as a small business owner. I was using her services I won't mention the exact circumstance, but it was printing and typing. You might guess how someone in government and politics might have been employing AC type at the time. So Angie has a real knowledge of what it is that you go through on your everyday business life, because she started out as a woman-owned business in conjunction with her husband, and then ventured into the political arena and eventually turned that business over to the second generation, where her children run it. But she has served as a county legislator, as the county treasurer, and now as town supervisor. So please welcome Angie Carpenter.
Thank you very much, Bill. He's listing all of the things that I've done prior to being the supervisor, but I'd like to think that my role, having been a small business owner, is what keeps me grounded and helps me do the best job I can as a supervisor, because I think having owned a business, and I'm preaching to the choir, you're constantly faced with the bottom line. You're the last one that gets paid if you get paid, and it's interesting too, because I can remember there were times that I thought that government was organized and put together just to be the bane of existence of small business owners, because it seemed like every time I turned around there was another rule, regulation, or something I was going to have to deal with that was going to make it that much more difficult for me to, quite frankly, make a living. So I try to be sensitive to that. I can remember particularly being in the legislature when the legislation was being proposed, thinking to myself, but what's the end game here? How are we going to enforce it? How's it really going to help? And I'm looking at Charlie Gandolfo. There was some legislation that was being considered once upon a time in the legislature, regulating one of the businesses he was involved with. And I can remember that we actually traveled to meet with the Nassau County executive and tried to explain to them what was trying to be done was something that needed to be done more globally and not the way they were addressing it. But it's important for you as business owners to be involved and, let your voices be heard. And I'm so grateful that we have the Business Advisory Commission, because it helps those of us that are working in government. Even though I've crossed over, I still like to think of myself as a business owner, although I'm not. But for Bill and John and Annie and everyone that's working there to have that right there at your fingertips, expertise of the business community whenever you need it, helps us in doing what we need to do governmentally. I know there are many members of the Business Advisory Commission that are here this afternoon, and I'd ask you all to stand and be recognized. We thank you for your service. We appreciate your service. And having said all of that, the one thing, Bill gave you a whole bunch of notes about small business and how we all got started and everything. But the thing I want to share with you is the fact that small business comprises, even statewide, nearly 80% of all of the businesses that are in the state of New York are small businesses. So you truly are the backbone of our economy. And we're joined today by our planning commissioner and deputy, Ron Meyer and Michelle Bassin, who interact a lot with the business community. And I know that since they have taken over the helm of that department, there's a lot more focus on truly being business friendly. It's not, oh no, you can't do that, but rather let's see if we can find a way to get you there. So I want to thank you guys for what you're doing and the rest of your team in planning and building. So without further ado, we will get right to the awards. Very cool. So we're going to share this. I have the first couple. So we will start with my nominee, and that is Bubba's Burrito Bar. Tim, are you here? Timothy Henriksen opened Bubba's Burrito. Let me just see where that is. He opened Bubba's Burrito in March 2009, right down the block from Town Hall. Very popular place by our town employees. Upon returning from a trip to California, Timothy saw a niche for a California-style burrito eatery on Long Island. In the 8 years Bubba's has been in existence, it has become one of the most successful businesses on Main Street in Islip. The eatery is eco-friendly, converting 90% of disposables and takeout materials to renewable resources. Tim and Bubba's Burrito Bar and his team have taken an active role in supporting various local organizations and community groups. The establishment exemplifies corporate giving and what it means to give back to the community. And I'll give you a very practical example of that. Tim from our youth bureau went in and asked if he could put a flyer up for a school supply drive that we were having across the town. And from there, Tim and his team took it to another step. Tim bought the backpacks. His staff donated their tips one weekend to fill them with all the school supplies. And how many did you wind up with?
Around 100 backpacks.
100 backpacks. Isn't that incredible? And not only the joy of knowing that you're doing something so positive for children that perhaps would not have had what they needed, but I'm sure it was a wonderful team building experience for your staff, because when we went there to recognize them with a certificate, and many of our town board members were there, you could get this sense of family amongst all of his staff. So we really congratulate you and thank you for your efforts. And on behalf, you're welcome. Thank you very much.
I'm really honored to be here today to accept this award. I really appreciate the nomination from Angie. I'd say the town's been great for us over the last 9 years. We've been in business. Everybody's helped us out along the way, whether it's getting started or continuing the success. And we look forward to working with the town in the future on events like this and helping out organizations within the town. My motto has always been that, like I said, we're a small community, and everybody needs a little help, and everybody supports our restaurant. So as long as we're in business and going, we'll continue to support the town and the organizations. Thank you very much.
So Clear Vision Optical is the next nominee, and Clear Vision was nominated by the department, the Office of Economic Development. It was founded in 1949 by Fred Freefeld. Fred started the company to serve independent eye care professionals by offering quality products and services. Today, Clear Vision Optical is a business-to-business distributor of prescription eyewear and fashion sunglasses. Through exclusive licensing agreements, Clear Vision designs and markets quality optical frames and sunglasses for BCBG, MAZARIA. The ladies know what that is. Steve Madden, Ellen Tracy, Izod OP, Jessica McClintock, and Revo. Clear Vision also has several in-house brands, including the trendy Aspire brand and award-winning children's line Dilly Dilly. So without further ado,
Jennifer Trachtenberg.
Jennifer, congratulations.
Thank you on behalf of David, Peter, and the Clear Vision family. We're extremely grateful. We've had a really wonderful opportunity to build a business on Long Island and have been on Long Island for the last 68 years. We employ over 125 individuals and at any time at least 20 student interns. We've been very fortunate to be recognized as the best company to work for in New York State for the last 3 years, and a big part of our mission as a values-driven company is to make each day better for someone else. So being recognized by the town is a huge honor, and we're really appreciative. Thank you.
Our next honoree, and let me see who did the honors there, was nominated by Ernie Fazio. Is Ernie here? He is. Why don't you come
Ernie's
up and join
everywhere.
us? Yeah, Ernie's everywhere. You're not asking any questions today, Ernie, though. But do come up and join us. Established in 1989, the R.B. Bender Group focuses on timeliness of production. The company aids in solving customer problems in the construction industry. With over 40 years of experience, Robert Bender made it his mission to supply the highest quality products, which are environmentally friendly. R.B. Bender has 5 employees and offers 24-hour, 7-day-a-week assistance to its clients. So without further ado, R.B. Bender.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody involved in this award. I'm very honored to receive it. Bill Maddox, Angie Carpenter, of course, John Walzer from the town of Islip, and of course my good friend Ernie Fazio, who nominated me, and all my friends and associates that came today to see me get this award. Thank you. Just want to say we're the home of bioorganic technology. We're working to rid the environment of all toxic and harsh chemicals. If you want to see how that's done, get in touch with me. Thank you.
Charlie, if you would come forward. Charlie Spencer nominated Charlie Gandolfo of Higbee Collision and a couple of other businesses. But Higbee Collision has been servicing the Islip area since 1957. Charlie did it from the cradle. In 1973, actually, Charlie started working at the auto repair shop, and in 1983 took over the business. Higbee Collision offers full-service mechanical repairs, collision repairs, and 24-hour towing service 365 days and nights a year. The company focuses on customer satisfaction while also conducting the repair process in a timely fashion. Higbee Collision employs 34 mechanics who are highly skilled in the profession. And Charlie, too, exemplifies community service, has been involved in the Chamber of Commerce, the West Islip Breast Cancer Coalition, whatever community group reaches out for assistance, Charlie and his lovely wife, Karen, are there to assist. And what's so special about this particular business, he's starting out in it as a mechanic, taking it over. A true success story is now being phased over to the next generation. His sons work there, and it's really a wonderful thing to see. So on behalf of the town of Islip and all of our residents, we congratulate you and thank you for your service to the community. Thanks, George.
I'd like to thank everybody here, Angie Carpenter, Supervisor Islip Town Board, Charlie Spencer for nominating me. I have to say it's been a long ride. I started working hard when I was very young, and our family didn't have a lot of money, but my attitude was, I'm going to make it, we're going to do it, and I have to tell you, it really worked out well for me and my family. And so, to the young people, I always tell them, work hard and you could achieve whatever you would like to achieve. And just go over the years of all the achievements. I mean, we do a lot in the community, we do a lot with Good Samaritan Hospital, West Islip Chamber. We're a big sponsor of March of Dimes also. And I'm the type of guy that you never see a lot. I'm not the type of guy that wants a recognition all the time, so I was kind of shocked the other day, you know. I thought they were going to mail me a proclamation. Now I get invited to a lunch. I said, oh, here we go. So, but again, I'd like to thank everybody. It's been truly an honor. Thank you very much.
So our next presenter is a member of the Islip Town Board who unfortunately is going to be leaving us, but he will be serving us well, I know, in the Suffolk County Legislature, and that is Councilman Steve Flattery. Steve?
Thank you, Supervisor, and congratulations to all our honorees today. I know a lot of you have gotten to meet over the years, and it's been an honor to get to know you, because besides your success in the business, how much you all do for the community. I have the honor of telling you about the Long Island Against Domestic Violence. Colleen, if you could come up. Long Island Against Domestic Violence was established over 40 years ago in 1976 by a group of concerned citizens. The not-for-profit organization provides counseling, legal assistance, courtroom advocacy, vocational and financial training, as well as healing through yoga for male and female victims. The Safe Harbor Shelter opened in 1983 and is the first in Suffolk County to provide services needed to help victims escaping domestic abuse. By 1989, LIADV launched the Domestic Violence Precinct Outreach Project, the first program of its kind in the nation, to provide a domestic violence advocate in each Suffolk County police precinct. Today, Long Island Against Domestic Violence has expanded to community programs that provide educational awareness on the severity of domestic violence crimes and the psychological impact the abuse has on the victims. Again, round of applause for Colleen and Long Island Against Domestic Violence.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to congratulate the other small businesses and professionals who are being recognized this morning. It's an honor to stand and receive this award alongside you. I also want to thank the town board of the Islip Economic Development Commission under the leadership of Angie Carpenter. I also want to thank Tina Ombreski for nominating us for this award. And lastly, I want to thank all of you in this room, because together your work ensures that the town of Islip remains a safe place where there are jobs for people who want them, and it's a place where people want to come, and it's a destination because of all the work that we do together. As one of the leading not-for-profits within the town, we know how closely linked the not-for-profit sector is to ensuring that the community is safe, healthy, and has access to services. At LI Against Domestic Violence, we contribute to the safety of the community by building safety in homes. And as anyone knows who's ever had any kind of conflict in home, if you're not safe in your house, you can't find safety in the community. So as we said, we have a 16-bed shelter within the town of Islip that houses men, women, and families who are not able to stay in their homes safely. We have the Precinct Advocacy Project. We also have advocates that work in the Central Islip courts, because for anyone who's ever had to go to court, even for a traffic ticket, you know how daunting the feeling is standing in front of that judge and not knowing the process. Our advocates are there to work alongside people so that they feel supported, knowledgeable, and can get the services that they need. So thank you for your continued support and partnership. We can't do our work without all of you, so thank you for this award.
The next business I get to tell you about is called Sobel. Is Jason or Jim here? While attending culinary school in San Diego, CEO Jason Mazzarone discovered the health, consciousness, and delicious treat of acai. I'm probably saying it wrong. I say a KI myself. In 2012, he started to sell acai bowls to Long Islanders at his family Italian ice house. The success of the acai bowls led him to venture into business with co-founder Jim Calamiris. In 2014, they opened Sobel in Sayville, serving acai bowls and other Southern California specialties. With the success of the Sayville location, the pair expanded their business to a second location in Patchogue. Today, Sobel has over 11 locations in New York and has plans to expand by over 40 locations in the Northeast. So hopefully some more in town of Islip. We're really happy. But again, give a round of applause to our
Thank you guys all for inviting us here to the Sable Chamber, for nominating us. We've been tasked with two things, kind of educating the market and eating healthy. We've really been champions of trying to get people to make healthier choices, and we believe that will maybe not change their lives, but certainly better their day. We also have the enormous task of putting today's youth to work, which some of you probably know is a challenge. But we have a tremendous team. I think anybody who's ever been to any one of our locations would, one of the best compliments that we get is our staff. Their friendliness, their focus on attention and service is something that we're really proud on, something that we work really hard on, and it gives us great hope for our future. So thank you guys all very much. Thank you to the board for having us.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to announce our next winner, Sweet Frog, which is located in Sayville. Sweet Frog is a fun, family-focused frozen yogurt shop that puts the emphasis on giving back to the community. Candy Scolio opened Sweet Frog in 2012 with Feel Good as the driving force for the eatery. After Superstorm Sandy, Sweet Frog became a donation center that collected hundreds of items to help those affected by the storm. A business that focuses on good corporate social responsibility, Golio has held over 40 fundraisers and raised over $25,000 to benefit nonprofit organizations. In the last 5 years, she has donated over $30,000 worth of gift cards and merchandise to local charities and youth organizations, as well as funded a new scoreboard for the Broadway Avenue Little League fields. The passion for giving back is also evident in her employees, who donated over $15,000 of their own tips to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Candace, if you would come up. And congratulations. On a personal note, I live in Bayport, and I have 3 kids, and we love your place, so thank you. Congratulations.
Just want to thank the Sable Chamber for the nomination, the town of Islip for the award. Everything that was in the bio is basically what I'm thinking right now. I think the community really appreciates us because of the give back. I hear it all the time. They come in, they say, I have a wall with all of their letters of praise, and they say, we really appreciate what you do, the Little League Board, all of that. Additionally, the staff, I think Sobel just said the same thing. We have an outstanding staff. They're committed to the Sweet Frog brand. They deliver excellent service and a quality product. So if you haven't tried us yet, like she said, come on down. Thank you for the award.
The next award is my nominee, Raising Hair Salon in Bayport. Christopher Cook has always envisioned owning his own salon. In 1997, after 40 years in the cosmetology field, I can't believe that, Chris, 40 years? No, 20.
I've been there 40 years now.
Okay. He made his dream a reality and opened Raising Hair Salon.
That was 20 years.
Okay. In October of 2015, Chris purchased an abandoned building located in the heart of Bayport. Today, this same building has transformed into the brand new location for Raising Hair. Christopher Cook is heavily involved in the Bayport community. He is in the Bayport Blue Point Chamber of Commerce, and he's the director and co-chairman of the Beautification Committee. 2017 marks Raising Hair's 20th year in business, and we were speaking earlier, on November 1st, he's going to be opening his new building, which is magnificent. He really has made such an improvement to our community, and we are so grateful, and thank you so much.
I want to thank you, Mary Kate Mullins, for nominating me, and Cara Welling, her assistant, is a client of mine that comes in frequently. I want to thank the Bayport Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank all of you. I want to congratulate all the other business owners. It's been a long road. The renovations for the building took about 2 years to get underway. with all the different things that needed to be done to the building because it was built in the 1800s. So it was quite dilapidated, so we did have to do a full renovation on it. It is a beautiful space. Hope you all come down. It's a full service salon now, somewhat of a spa. We have a brand new a skincare department that we're heading with Dr. Marks, who grew up in Sayville. He's putting his products in my store. He picks different locations to bring his products. They're really high-end, beautiful products. We offer every single service that you could possibly imagine to make you look good and feel good. Have a very friendly, well-educated staff that loves what they're doing, and when you come into the place, you'll feel welcome and invited. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Congratulations to the past and present recipients. First of all, I always like to thank veterans. Do we have any active or retiree veterans in the room? Am I the only one serving? No. Who do we have? Stand up, please. Please, veterans. Thank you. Thank you. We don't want to just wait for Veterans Day and Memorial Day to thank you for what you sacrificed for this country. On that note, in 2007 and 2008, I was a commanding officer in Iraq. I was controlling all the bases, ports, in the bringing the logistics in for the surge. And in December of 2007, we started bringing these vehicles called the MRAPs over. And they were especially, they actually came from South Africa. And we brought them in the middle of the night so the spy satellites and our insurgents would know what we're doing. So one night, I had to take an admiral out and show him on the runway in Ali Salim what these vehicles could do. So I'm standing there, it's dark, and all of a sudden, when you have an admiral and a captain show up, people start running around like their hair's on fire, going, what is an admiral and a captain driving around these big vehicles on the runway, which was kind of fun. And I turn, where Bill likes standing, and I see Navy lieutenant there, and I was the only Navy guy in the area with the admiral. And he had a master chief with him, and I turn, and I go, Lieutenant, what are you doing here? And he turns, and I see he has a chaplain emblem on. He goes, Captain, I'm in charge of the hospital here. And I go, you're you and the master chief? I go, what do you do? He goes, we clean up the bodies before they go back home. I'm like, oh, you know? And I go, and you're in the hospital? And he goes, yeah, we clean up the soldiers and sailors that are wounded waiting for their plane. And I go, who's helping you out? What do you need? And he turns to me and goes, why? I go, what do you need? What do you need for the people who are living? He goes, well, some are amputees, you know, shoes, like gym clothes, they have nothing, because when you get injured, the first thing they do in medic is cut your uniform off. So I'm sitting there, and he starts wheeling off, well, they don't have any CD players, they don't have any clothes, and I'm writing it down, and I go, give me a little bit, Lieutenant, I'll give you a call back. In the back of my mind, I'm going, there's only one person in the United States that can make something happen in 2 weeks. Paul Warner's back. I get on the computer, I start dialing in Bayshore Alliance, and Paul emails me back, because it was the middle of the night for me, so it was in the morning or whatever, evening for you. He emails back going, give me a week or two. 2 weeks later, there's this post truck drops off in my tent. There was boxes and boxes. We had to get in a 2.5-ton truck, and you guys knows what those big trucks are. I called the lieutenant. I said, Lieutenant, meet me by the back gate. I might need some help going through, because the Army people soldiers are terrible. They don't let us go in and out with illegal things. So I meet the lieutenant in the back gate of Ali Salim. He starts crying, because he's opened up the boxes. He goes, how'd you get all these CD players? I go, Bayshore Lions Club. And I get emotional about that, because I look around this room, Charlie to Eric to everybody else, Paul, you don't just do business, you do it for your community, you do it for Americans. So I'll always remember that, tell that story all the time, Paul. And on that note, when the war started, Paul come to me as a lion going, hey, we should do is support the troop. And we did in my office first year. I said, Paul, give it back. We had people from all over the island. This is in 2004, I think we started the first one. And the amount of response, I had a woman, had to be 90 years old, drive from Lindenhurst, and gave me a $5 bill and a bag of lifesavers. And I cried. I mean, the emotion. So when I look around this room, I see true Americans that care for the community, that are giving back to students, and I can't thank you all enough. So Paul, I'm going to give you the, Paul Warner's back, has been a licensed realtor since 1971, an active member of the Bayshore Brightwaters community. Come on up, Paul. Paul opened up Sunset Realty, Inc. in 1994. The office provides services to the entire Long Island market, offering residential, commercial, and business brokerage. Paul is a dedicated member of the South Shore Chamber of Long Island Board of Realtors and has been a director for the chapter since 1995. From 2008-2010, he served as the president of LIBOR and is currently served as the chapter's vice president. It's not in there. He's also on the Summit. You're also got Kick, and he's past district governor of the Lions Club. So he wears many hats, but he is a true friend and a business leader. And what you've done, Paul, this is long overdue. Congratulations.
I didn't expect that. Thank you very much for this honor. It's been my pleasure to be in business, in a community that appreciates people like John and like most of you here that do so much. And just a small piece of the puzzle. I'm happy to represent you. Thank you very much.
On that note, Paul, the priest wrote me a nice invocation for my change of command, so I keep that on the wall in my office. Next nominee, Eric, come on up. Eric Ward, Overton Funeral Home. Again, this is another community leader, Rotarian. Anytime you go to the Islip Chamber or anything on Main Street, you see Eric and his crew there. And it's an honor. As I said, when I look around this room, I see not business owners, I see community leaders, I see people who are invested. Rick, you're a perfect example. I mean, you are Mr. Holbrook, and you let your community know. And it really is great to meet people around, not just Islip, but Long Island, that really wear their heart on their sleeves, their community, and their friends and family on the streets. Overton Funeral Home, founded in 1923 by Arthur Doc Overton. The funeral home has been family-owned and operated for almost 100 years. Over 100 years? Almost 100 years. The Overton family mission is to create an affordable and easy experience on the funeral service process. The knowledgeable staff specializes in cremation, burial services, as well as veteran services. The funeral home is currently being run by Eric S. Bueller, the great-grandson of Arthur Overton. The funeral home has 5 full-time and 5 part-time employees. And Eric, this is long overdue for you too. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Having been involved with Bill and the Economic Development Commission for a number of years, I know it's an honor to receive one of these small business awards. So I do appreciate, on behalf of my family, thank you very much. And I'm the 4th generation of my family to run our family-owned funeral home, and my 9-year-old daughter, who's always running around there now, helping me out with things. Hopefully we have our 5th generation in place too, so we'll see. But thank you very much. Thank you.
Final presenter is, without a doubt, the most colorful member of our Economic Development Commission. Rick Amarati. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you for that introduction, and John, thank you. I appreciate that for noticing us. This is like an Islip homecoming week. Now, welcome to Holbrook, first and foremost. This is like my living room. I conduct meetings here every single month. In fact, we had a board meeting about 15 hours ago. It's quite an honor. I want to thank the commission not only for allowing me to serve for 10 years on the board, which has been incredible under this Islip icon, the tutelage that he's given. Bill, thank you. It's been very enriching for my life to work with you. I appreciate that. So my board was laughing. I got a few members of my board here today, and they were laughing. They've seen me before read off a actual agenda, like actually read. I usually talk so much. So I'm going to read this and then talk a little bit about the Costi Agency, my nominee today. The Costi Agency was established in 1948 by Louise Costi. In 1971, her son, Fred Costi, joined the firm. And in 1983, upon Louise's retirement, took over the insurance business. An independently owned agency, their focus is the customer, always. Costi Agency sells and services the personal and commercial insurance needs of Holbrook and surrounding communities. Costi offers competitive rates and a multitude of insurance companies to choose from. Fred Costi and his 2 employees strive to provide excellent customer service as well as the most competitive rates for their auto, home, and business insurance. Now, I'm not done yet. The Costi Agency was the oldest and still is the oldest business in Holbrook. They opened up in 1948, as I just mentioned. Fred's dad, Ferd, was one of the founding fathers of our Chamber of Commerce. Our Chamber of Commerce has been around since 1954, and we've been able to do some dynamic things with the, not only with the government assistance and the help of the county, the state, and certainly the town of Islip, the town of Brookhaven, which we've enjoyed a great relationship. But without a Holbrook Chamber of Commerce, without any Chamber of Commerce, I don't know where our towns would be. They weave the fabric of the community, bring everybody together. Thanks to Fred and his generosity, he allows us to utilize every month our meetings with the carnival committees, our board meetings. Our chamber office is in the Costi Agency. It's the beginning and the end. And I can tell you quite frankly and quite candidly that no other town in this country can have the pride that we have or say as much as what the Costi family has meant to Holbrook. Please join me in honoring Fred Costi.
There are many people that I need to thank, starting off with of course, the town board for this honor. It's been a great ride working with the Holbrook Chamber of Commerce. I'm treasurer right now, and I have no plans to replace anybody. He's a tough act to follow. I also would like to recognize the real support that I get from my wife Judy, who's sitting here today, and my son, who's in the office, is the third generation of the Costi family to pick up the torch, if you will, for the Costi Agency. And of course, my administrative assistant and vice president, Nancy Hall, who kind of keeps everything on track for me, keeps me pointed in the right direction. So I thank you all. Thank you to the town of Islip for this honor, and we look forward to many more years. Thanks.
Thank you, Fred.
Well, before we close down today's proceedings, a few housekeeping items. For all of the awardees and the elected officials, we're going to bring you all back up here when we finish for one big group picture. We can get them all in, I hope. And for anybody who's wondering what the video camera is for, this will be broadcast and rebroadcast and rebroadcast and rebroadcast on public service television, channel 18, if you have Cablevision. So if you are a local government junkie, which surprisingly, I've come across a number of people who say all the time, we see you on television along at the town board meetings, and I always wonder what the heck prompts them to actually stop and watch, but there are local government junkies. Excuse me?
Insomnia.
Yeah, yes, and that was the second one, yes. Insomnia. So there are probably a lot of insomniacs out there, but this will be broadcast. I'd also I want to make sure that I recognize the efforts of my staff who put all of this work together. John Walzer and especially Annie Carl, who does most of the work leading up to this. So I want to recognize Annie and John. And then the rest of the departments over at Media Relations, Caroline's group, and the printing and mailing, we couldn't do it without some support from the rest of the departments also. I think you heard a common theme here today, and Rick used a term that I very much like, and you heard it also very eloquently spoken by John Cochran about how the businesses that we recognize today and really every year, they're not just businesses. They're important parts of our community. Rick's phrase was, they're part of the fabric of the community, and really I like that phrase very much because they weave themselves into our lives in ways that maybe we don't often recognize and realize. But so that should conclude today's proceeding. We hope to be back next year with many of you in the audience. Hopefully you're going to nominate people for next year's proceedings. So thank you all very much for your participation.